All right, hello everyone. My name is Nick Frazier. This is Larry Frazier. No relation. We're about to review the Bourne Identity, a throwback review. In this review, you will have spoilers. So if you haven't seen it already, go see it because we think it's pretty good. But if you haven't seen it already, don't look at this review because we're going to spoil a lot of stuff in this review. Okay. Now, all right, let's get into basically our overall feelings of the film. You know, what we overall thought of it. I overall thought it was a solid movie. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was well acted, and I think it's a very well crafted film. Larry, what do you think?
I think it was overall a good film. I give it a B rating. It's one of the better films that came out in the year 2002. Even though it didn't make as much money the year it first came out. Yeah. Like, nobody remembered it. When the first year that movie came out in theaters, nobody remembered. People remember it from word of mouth and things like that. And sometimes it actually makes a film better. Yeah. Because some movies had come out and they have all this marketing towards it, and you see it and you go like, this was crap. Yeah. Some movies, when there's a word of mouth to it, and it's a reason why it's a word of mouth to it, that is better. Yeah. It
was kind of different for its time. Let's go into a few things. We're going to talk about you already explained some of the good stuff about the Bourne Identity, but let's talk about more about the good stuff. Go into more, say, the characters. Matt Damon, I thought he did a really good job. You know, I thought he was, he treated the character almost like it was just a job. It was just a job he did. He wasn't suave. He wasn't like a James Bond character where he was suave and you know, all that kind of stuff. He was just kind of natural. Like, I'm just good at my job. I don't know what I am, what I was before, and he really did a good job of portraying that nervousness, portraying that not knowing who you are, which is kind of scary. And you might be a bad guy. He doesn't know. He might be like the worst guy ever, you know. So I thought he did a good job with that.
Yeah, I think the word that really describes this film is realism from start to finish. Yeah, like really everything about it is trying to be as real as can be, from the weapons to the dialogue to the talk to the actors that portrayed them to like everything. I think that was probably like the huge thing about this film is about realism. Try to be as real as it could be. The locations, they want to try to beautify everything or make this look fancier or anything like that. Just to try to make a real life action movie.
Yeah. So gritty, like those DC films that
gritty.
always talk about Marvel all the time.
That's the gritty.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was very gritty. I mean, especially for the time. Like a lot of people, if you were younger and you weren't, around during that time, or if you too young to see the film, it was kind of like the first film of that. Of that kind of they had that kind of feel. They kind of had the kind of gritty feel. I mean, you had Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise that came before that, and it was kind of serious the same way.
No, the first one.
The first one, the very first one. Yeah, the first one was kind of serious that way. But really, I feel like the Bourne Identity really like hammered that in. Like, this is something that they wanted to treat it like this is something that could really happen. You know. Yes. So I thought that was like one of the pluses of the film.
Kind of like what Batman Begins kind of did for comics is kind of like what this film did for like the whole spy / action.
Yeah, it really did. It really did. Yeah, it led to like a lot of copycats after that. I mean, not in a bad way. It led to good movies, but a lot of spy thrillers kind of wanted to make that real serious tone. You know, and but yeah, I thought the tone of the film was good. I thought the overall acting of it was good. I thought. The casting of Matt Damon, I thought that was actually smart. I mean, during that time, no one did because he was like more a dramatic actor, and it was like almost like you're going to see the Good Will Hunting kid do action. It was like it would have been more Ben Affleck. Yes. You would have thought like he should be Jason Bourne more so than Matt Damon because it was like, oh my god, like the skinny guy from those films or whatever.
It's kind of like a casting where they didn't say we're going to cast based off this person is the most popular person. We're going to cast based off of who's the right person as opposed to who's popular right now. Yeah. That's what it's like.
Yeah, it's really because I remember reading about it and they were saying things like Sylvester Stallone. They was throwing out names like that. Sylvester Stallone. What was the other name? Russell Crowe. I mean, Russell Crowe wouldn't have been bad, but I thought he would have been too. I thought even back then. I thought he would have probably been a little too old for that because I feel like Jason Bourne should be kind of like a young guy who just got trained, and I feel like he shouldn't be a guy like I guess Russell Crowe probably would have been like 35 at the time. I don't think it should be a guy like that old. I think it should be like a guy in his mid-20s or at least looks like he's in his mid-20s where he portray a guy like that. So, I mean, I thought his casting was very good. I thought the girl that played Maria, I thought she was pretty good. She was like the female lead, but it wasn't like a typical female lead in a spy picture. She wasn't like overly sexy. It wasn't like, you know, a whole lot of one model like, you know, she played it almost like a real person like that ran into Jason Bourne. So I thought that was good. And I thought they had good chemistry. Because, you know, especially for her to bounce off of Matt Damon's character, because he's so like straight laced in this film. Like he doesn't crack a smile. There's like hardly no joke. So jokes. How do you bounce off this guy? Like he doesn't, you know, he kind of like makes Captain America look like Richard Pryor. Like he really like straight laced through it. I mean, I like it, but he's really, there's no charisma portrayed in this of him. He's just a guy who's good at his job, you know.
That's the type of film it is. It's almost like when they was writing this, anything that sounded like it would have been comedy or anything that doesn't have anything to do with the movie is like they took it all off.
There is no comedy. I mean, there's no kind of silly moments to it and stuff like that.
Which draw some people away from it.
It does, yeah. It did initially back in 2002 when I first saw it. I kind of was like, I didn't know what I was looking at. It was like, I'm used to like the James Bond pictures. I mean, not the, you know, when the Pierce Brosnan where it started going downhill, but at least GoldenEye, where it's kind of like fun at the same time. So I'm used to, you know, I was younger, I was used to the fun pictures.
GoldenEye was the movie that actually brought James Bond back, though.
It did.
I think that was Pierce Brosnan's first James Bond movie.
Yeah, and then they just kind of slid the trajectory, kind of went downhill from that. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, Matt Damon was pretty good. The girl that played Maria, I thought she was great. The guy that played Abbott, I think he was also Stryker in like the X-Men. Yes. You know, if you see the original X-Men, not the newer X-Men, I thought he was pretty good. You know, he was given much to do. Clive Owen was actually in the film. Who knew that? Like, right? But I mean, he didn't say much. He just kind of just walked around and just looked.
It was Clive Owen before Clive Owen.
Yeah, it really was. It was like before he was Clive Owen. I always thought he should have like a bigger career though. On a side note, like I always thought he was. Like he could have been a James Bond.
Yeah, he actually auditioned for one of the roles. Yeah.
So I mean, I thought that was pretty good. I mean, I found the characters pretty good. Only thing that I will say that was kind of like this is like nitpicking. I overall like the film, but only thing I felt was kind of weird is like how like the operatives like they were sitting around doing nothing when they get caught. Like they would just be sitting around like staring at a wall and then waiting by their cell phone, just sitting there. Like at least have them play chess or something. Like have some kind of hobby. They just sit there for 24 hours just waiting to be called. Like if you don't get called that day, you just staring at the wall. Like that's the only thing that was kind of like okay.
Too serious.
Yeah, it was kind of like okay, these guys have to do something. I know they're serious, but like I don't know. Maybe it's part of the you know the Treadstone brainwashing. Maybe they just sit there and stare at the wall. But like I don't know. They could have played Pac-Man or something. Something. Just give me something. But yeah, that's just nitpicking. But yeah, the characters were great in the film.
Yeah, it's the things I liked about it, the things I hate about it. The things I liked about it was the realism to the movie, and I like the action scenes. Yeah. The action scenes at the time were really, really good.
Yeah, they really were.
And it was a variety of action scenes. Like there's a car chase scene. Yeah. There's a fight scene. And there's like a gun shootout scene, but it wasn't really a whole bunch of shooting back and forth between a whole bunch of different people and things like that. It was almost more of a drama that had action in it. That's what it is. It's basically a drama that has scenes of action in it. It's not too much action to where everything is going on. There's so much going on to where you wait for the next action scene, but there's enough of it for it to be realistic. Yeah. The thing that I don't like about the film is that the ending. It felt like it goes on for too long.
It does. It's kind of taxing.
It's almost 2 hours, but it probably should have been more of an hour and a half or something like that.
Yeah, I did feel that way too.
A little bit too long towards the ending.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of it. Like I said, you know, I think I was telling you this earlier. Like it feels like a foreign film. Like I haven't seen many foreign films. I'm not really like an indie type person, but I've seen quite a few of them. Yeah. Like, and it felt like that, where it's like kind of slow paced. It's not American, not like an opening sequence. It's like an action scene. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you start off and it just moves right after that. Next thing, this happens. It's kind of like it slows. It's dialogue and it slows down for a bit, and then you get this fast paced action scene. Which is good because when you get the action scenes, it's kind of like it's a good payoff. They're not like bad action scenes, but it's kind of like it's a slow burn. So I mean, it's kind of I mean, it may be a negative if you're not used to that. Like somebody who's probably used to indie films, they're like, "This is great. This is the best action film I've ever seen." But if you like traditional action films, like the kind of like the old school action films, or like you might be sitting there kind of waiting, like, okay, what's next, or stuff like that. But I mean, overall, yeah, I thought that was maybe the one thing. I thought, especially when it got to the family scene. I was kind of like, I kind of wanted to get out of like, just kill these people right now. Like, I just wanted to get to the next thing. Like, because it was already like almost 2 hours into, like an hour and a half into the film. I was like, come on, let's just get to this.
Yeah, that's where it slows down.
Yeah, it does.
When you get to the barn and it's just like, what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it was still pretty good. I mean, I think as far as the music of it to get into like the music. I think the music was pretty good, but it's not much like I think you was telling me earlier. It's not much music to the film.
No.
It's like, you know, and it doesn't the music that does get played, it doesn't feel like a spy picture. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't have that spy that, I don't know, those loud horns like James Bond.
Yeah.
Like it kind of slowly gets into a spy picture. Like the more he talks,
it's a spy picture, but it's nothing like James Bond.
No, it's nothing like that. Yeah, nothing.
Actually,
or at least the original James Bond.
Original
you know,
James
the original
Bond.
James.
Now James Bond is actually trying to copy all.
Yeah,
really.
Really
you see the
did,
newer ones, Casino
yeah.
Royale and things like that.
Yeah,
are trying to be Jason Bourne.
Yeah,
but it is nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, it's not like that, for better or for worse. You know, like you know, one thing I like about it that it's not like that. Like when I need a break from that kind of like fiction type, you know, kind of like comic booky type sci-fi, you know, stuff like that. It's a good breath, good kind of spy picture.
Action movie for adults.
It really is action movie for
adults.
It's kind of like, you know, if you grew up on James Bond, this is like, you know, this is like the next level. This is like, you know, if you want something that's real serious and you feel like it's something you can enjoy at the same time, but still believable, you know. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. What did you think of like the plot, like the actual plot?
There's not really that much of plot because you don't know exactly what's
going
on.
You really don't. Yeah, that's
nobody
another.
Really knows.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I do not like about the film is that it spends so much time of nobody knows what's going on. He doesn't even know his own name.
Yeah,
what's going on? It's just like he
hard.
knows these things, that everything that comes towards him. Once he gets involved in it, but he doesn't know like his own name. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Even the female, she's like he gives her like $20,000 and she just goes along with
the
ride.
It's not much. It's not much given in it, and it's like you have to figure it out. It's not like a whole lot of which some people say is bad, like exposition, like a whole bunch of characters describing you what they're going to do next. Like it's not like, you know, like when she says, you know, she doesn't really ask him what he's going to do next. He doesn't say we have to go here to end up here. You know, like a diagram, like kind of like the Mission Impossible films. They kind of tell you what they're going to do. They plan it out and tell you exactly what they're going to do, and almost sometimes send you like a little diagram to show you exactly. You know, there you don't get that. You just kind of just, you know, when he, like the one scene I guess where she calls on the phone to her like family friend, he asks her, how long did you let it ring? Meaning that, you know, because we know, meaning that did they like kind of like, you know, like are they tracking them and stuff like, but that never gets said, so that can go right over your head if you're not paying attention. Like that, it's not really like, you know, given to you and stuff like that. So that's the only thing that it requires a lot of attention, you know, when you're watching it. You know,
sit there and you watch it. You don't go back and forth.
Yeah,
you don't come into it in the beginning or in the, like the middle first 10 minutes of the movie. It's like you just sit there from the start of the film to the end of the film. You just enjoy it. Yeah, watch it by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was pretty good. I mean, and you know, to go back on it, it's more grittier. It's not like a whole lot of gadgets to it. Everything is really it's really just like handguns and walkie talkies. Really, I mean, it's really like. You know, I think the closest thing is, what was the thing that makes alarms go off? You know, what was that little device he put under the cars or whatever?
Yeah.
That was like the most like fantastic. Even that's probably real. You could probably, I don't know. You know, I'm not a car thief. I don't know, but you know, like that's probably real. You know, you could probably have.
No,
something
you're not
like
a
that.
car thief for the camera. You are a car thief.
Oh man, don't believe that. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was, you know, that was pretty good. That everything was really realistic, and you know, the scenery too. I mean, that really, you know, lets you know that this didn't feel like it was gritty, because they were in Paris and you never really felt like, it wasn't like showing it to make it look pretty. It didn't make it look like I want to go to Paris, even though it would be nice to go to Paris. It made like Paris look like downtown, like literally like, you know, like a coffee shop. They were riding around like mopeds and like Fiat cars. It wasn't like, you know, Lamborghinis, a whole bunch of scenery, you know, like Louis Vuitton dresses and you know, fancy suits and stuff like that. So it wasn't like what you see in a typical like spy picture. So I thought that was kind of nice to know. But yeah, I mean, so like overall, do you think that this stands the test of time? Do you think this is something that a younger viewer, like not some of us that know from a nostalgia view, but somebody who's just walking into this, like somebody who's like maybe like 15 or 16 watching this, will they enjoy this? Could they give this a shot?
I don't think so. I think because nowadays so many people are so used to the Avengers and all this gadgets and everything else. So, but then again, if a person that's actually like the newer James Bond might be into it, but it's just a little bit like real life James Bond realism.
Yeah, you know, it's very mature. It's very
mature. James Bond is copying off Jason Bourne. They still have the aspects of James Bond. They still have the beautiful women in the cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mature, you know, it's a mature movie. Like, you know, it's like I said, I seen it when I was younger, a little bit younger, and I didn't kind of I knew it was good, but everyone kept saying it's good. And I'm like, I like it, but I don't, you know, but you know, I watch it later, I like it more, you know. So it's definitely, you know, I believe it kind of stands the test of time as far as not as far as younger viewers. I agree with you. Younger viewers might not like it as much, but I think it does stand the test of time as far as it has a lot of copiers. It has a lot of, like you can watch it. It doesn't feel like you're watching an old film. Like it doesn't, the dialogue, it doesn't feel like something like, oh my God, this is out of date. There's a whole lot of references from the early 2000s that's like no one would know now. It's really like, it's really not set in any kind of, they don't even let you know what, decade you're in or anything. Like it really just, it's just really like a straight film. Like it's really like a straight film. It could have been filmed any decade. It could have been filmed now, 80s or whatever.
It's
but
not like the music is using the soundtrack to somebody that was
popular And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So I mean, I think as far as that, it does stand the test of time, and it's worth checking out at least. But it's definitely a film that you want to. You want to do it when you have some time. You want to do it when you have some time, and you have to really fully invest into it. It's not something you can walk in the middle of it, like Avengers, or Iron Man, like that could be on, and I could see it, and I could say, oh, it's the middle of it. All right, sit down and start watching right in the middle of it. But like this, you have to really start from the beginning, follow it through the end. And you have to have really time. You can't be too tired because there are some things that kind of it slows down. It's very foreign dialogue in the car that lasts for like maybe 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
Yes.
So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's standing a test of time. Was there any surprises in the film that even watch? Because we haven't seen it in a while. It's been a long time, so it was almost kind of like a new film we rewatching. Any surprises you think?
No, not really. I guess Clive Owen. You don't realize it's Clive Owen because really nobody back then knew who he was.
Yeah.
And the African dude in there or whatever who kind of...
Yeah, I seen him. I don't know his name. The Mubasa
expressions or something
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was borderline. I thought he was going to go into comedy, but he didn't. I really did. I was waiting for him. Yeah. I was waiting for him to be like an overtop villain and say something like, but no, he didn't. So, I mean... Yeah, I mean, I thought that was that was good. I mean, but only surprises I had, like, as far as the film was, like, it was certain times where I expected the action sequence to happen, and it didn't happen. Like, they would show a guy in a car, and, like, he would be looking, like, real, like, intimidating. You expect him to get out of the car and do something, and then nothing happens. And,
it wasn't like the final boss scene, and this is the major bad guy. In the film, man, you really don't, there really isn't any bad guy.
No, it isn't. It isn't
Even
the bad
guy
guy
at the end who you think is the bad guy is not really necessarily the bad
it's no bad guy. It's just people doing their job. It's almost like, I feel like it's saying something about society. Like the collective is bad. Like the system that's been created is bad. Not the people. The people are just in the system going along with it. Like kind of like Clive Owen's character. He's not really bad. He's kind of like, they gave me the job. Like he's not really like when he catches him, when Matt Damon catches him, he's kind of not like I wanted to kill you. I'm angry at you. He was kind of like, they sent me to do that. Where do you work from? Like, it's like an office thing. Like, they sent me here to get you. Where do you work from? Look what they give, like. So it was kind of like that. I mean, I thought it was good, yeah. So I mean, yeah, that was our review of the Bourne Identity. So if you want, check it out. I mean, overall, I give it a B quality. I think it's worth checking out. And it's a good film. I mean, enjoy it. And what do you think, Larry?
I just give it a B overall. It's a pretty good film. It's a film that you just sit there and watch on a Sunday while your laundry is in the basement or something like that. While you're washing clothes, you just sit there and you enjoy it. You watch it. But you don't have to have too many. You can't have too many distractions going on while you watch it. You have to literally sit there and just watch and enjoy the film. You can't text and then watch the film at the same time.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things in there. It's not really made to really, be all in and just to come up with catchphrases and it's a film that you sit there and you watch and it's a realistic type of film. It's a person I can see. Like in 40 years old, 45 years old, really and enjoying it.
Yeah. You can't walk off and go check your email for a second and then come right back to it.
An older person that's tired of all this superhero films.
But yeah, that's our review of the Bourne Identity. If you like it, check it out. And that's it. Thanks.